You're welcome to the Gavel. I'm Linda Akibe. In the last few weeks, there has been increased intensity in the advocacy against sexual abuse of children. 2 weeks ago, a coalition of civil rights groups held protest marches and sit-outs in major cities in the country, notably Lagos and Abuja. Now, these protests were done to raise awareness on the reprehensible cases of sexual abuse and defilement of children, and to also call on government at all levels to end this menace. A federal lawmaker in the House of Representatives, Legor Idagbo from Cross River State, has put together an interesting bill which he hopes that when passed would help reduce and preferably end sexual abuse of children in Nigeria. I had an interview with Representative Idagbo and he gave me more insights on the bill.
Well, the name of this bill is Sexual Offenders Registration Bill. The key word in there is registration. It's a bill that seeks to curtail the activities of sexual offenders. Our records show, and history would have it, that most people that commit sexual offenses are prone to committing such sexual offenses over and over and over again. And because of the trauma that their victims suffer, what this bill seeks to achieve is to prevent them from committing these sexual offenses. It's not enough to say once a person commits a sexual offense, the person must face the wrath of the law, must go to jail and all that. We must protect people who are vulnerable to these sexual offenders. So what the bill is saying simply is that if there is a sexual offender in any part of the country, let the authorities know about this sexual offender. Let the sexual offender be monitored. If he goes to get a job, possibly in a school where he will be exposed to minors, let the school authorities be aware that this person has indeed committed a sexual offense in the past. That way they are able to monitor and watch his activities and prevent such a thing from reoccurring again. So it's a pretty straightforward bill. It's a bill that seeks to protect our minors, who are left vulnerable in the hands of some of these sexual offenders. Like I said, most people that commit sexual offenses against minors tend to do it over and over and over again. So we cannot just wait and be reactive when they do it. We must be proactive to see how we can stop them from committing such sexual offenses in the future.
The bill also has some provisions against child pornography and exposure of children and minors to lewd acts. What was the intent of putting this in this bill? And are we saying we don't have other laws which contain these provisions to check these issues?
You see, like, our laws are not perfect. If you look carefully at our laws, there's no part of our law, not even the Child's Right Act, that deals with child pornography. Some of these sexual offenders have taken to the internet. They use the internet as their tool to see how they can sexually commit sexual offenses against minors. As you are aware, before a person attains the age of 18, the person is not capable of giving consent. So there's no question as to say it was consensual. So some people go on the internet and get young girls of less than 18 to expose themselves, go into pornography and all that. So this bill stems to curtail some of those actions of sexual offenders. So for anybody that commits such an offense using the internet, the person is liable upon conviction to a term of imprisonment and a fine. And of course, the person should also be registered and monitored so that we ensure that the person does not continue committing such offenses.
We have the Child Rights Act. We also have the VAP bill, that's the Violence Against Persons bill, which the National Assembly has passed. And these bills all deal with, protecting children from abuse. What is this bill, this new bill that you are bringing? What new thing is this bill expected to accomplish, different from what we have in other enabling laws?
Yeah, like I said, what the Child's Right Act basically tries to do is to enforce the rights of the child. as much as it also tries to protect the child against certain abuses and all that. But what this bill is doing is going the extra mile to say, okay, let us monitor the sexual offenders and see how we can stop them or prevent them from committing such sexual offenses in the future. That is not captured under the Child's Right Act. So with this bill, we seek to go a step further to see how we can create an environment, a society where our young ones will feel safe, where our young ones will be free from such abuses or molestations.
Now, one of the provisions of this bill is that sexual offenders would have their fingerprints, biometrics, their names registered at the police stations in every state, particularly where they are domiciled in. Are we going to see a situation where